Welcome to our webinar, How to Increase Your Online Sales When You're Not Amazon. I'm Caitlin Lewis, Digital Strategist with Cox Next. We're an omni-channel digital agency who's extremely passionate about our client success. With the explosive growth of e-commerce in 2020, we'll take you through some important steps on how you can compete with the big brands like Amazon, solutions and tactics to implement right now, and how to maximize your overall budget and increase your return on ad spend. As we walk through the material, feel free to type in your questions and make sure to stay all the way through to the end. We'll answer all of your questions about e-commerce and talk about how we can get started today. Now I'm going to toss it over to Cameron Williams, Media Strategist, and he'll show you how to increase your online sales when you're not Amazon.
Today, we will be covering how you can compete with Amazon and other big box retailers. We will be sharing e-commerce solutions that you should be utilizing, tactics to implement, how to work with your budget, and best practices to incorporate. We want to talk about dominating the e-commerce marketplace and the elephant in the room, Amazon. Anyone who has an e-commerce business feels the weight of competing with Amazon, but you don't have to. Let's talk about why Amazon has the reins on the e-commerce industry. In 2020, they increased their online sales by 43.4% and worldwide revenue growth by 33.5% in the second quarter alone. Through their prioritization of convenience, customer service, a simple buying process for the consumer, and their marketing strategy, they have dominated the digital shopping space. Their immense presence online can be intimidating to businesses trying to make a name for themselves, but it doesn't need to stop them from advertising. So, who are some other businesses that are doing a great job competing with Amazon? Nordstrom. They have an annual sale that is unmatched and surrounded by a ton of promotion and consumer buzz. Wayfair. They're similar to Amazon in that they don't have physical storefronts, but they still seem to be a leader in their category. Best Buy. They execute cart abandonment strategies at a high level. Plus, they offer the opportunity for consumers to get products sent to their stores for more convenience. REI. REI is known for connecting with their consumer base beyond their traditional target audience. Target. Target is beginning to rival Amazon with their same-day delivery, other quick shipping options, and rewards programs and credit cards. While all these companies are great at what they do and doing a great job competing with Amazon, they aren't the only ones that can do so. You can compete with the big brands too. A paid media strategy should be the foundation of your e-commerce program. Most companies use a two-pronged approach, prospecting and retargeting. Prospecting means finding the right target consumers and getting them to look at your product. Then, retargeting to get them to purchase. It's also important to understand your specific consumer's path to purchase. What is the buyer journey? How will you align your advertising to hit them at the right moments? Your target customers follow a path to purchase. Your advertising should follow the same path. This example shows a standard marketing funnel and how you can align paid advertising against it. The orange segment, the awareness phase. We would use targeting programmatic display to attract the right customers to your site. The dark blue or consideration phase is a great place to show pictures of your product. And social media shopping or Facebook carousel ads are a great way for customers to decide this or that. The light blue is the decision phase. Bottom of the funnel, where you want to have a paid search campaign running with shopping ads, and of course, you will want to retarget specific ads up and down the funnel to increase results. In order to break through the noise with your brand, you have to implement certain tactics. Videos in all different forms help catch the attention of your target consumer in a medium that appeals to emotions and their needs. Emails allow you to directly touch base with your consumers in their inbox, whether it's when they subscribe, fill out a form, or complete a purchase. Capturing their emails helps you reach them whenever you need to. Complementary product suggestion. This tactic helps you increase sales by presenting your customer with similar products based on what they're viewing on your website or what's in their cart. Now that you know about e-commerce solutions and tactics to implement, you need to know when and how often to implement. When you have an online store, you should have a consistent online presence across many platforms in order to remain top of mind and in front of prospective customers. In addition to promotions based on your business cycle, it is incredibly important to never stop your digital presence. Lastly, you should always run ads for your seasonal promotions. The creative should be different, but still in line with your cohesive branding. Some notable seasonal promotions are Labor Day, Black Friday, and Cyber Week. Now, the question of when. Begin promoting at least 2 weeks before a promotion begins. Start with your email subscribers. As you get closer to the promotion, increase the frequency of your promotions. One question people always ask that seems to hold them back is, how do I compete within my budget? Here are 4 tips to implement, which will make a difference in your marketing strategy while sticking to your budget. Tip number 1, don't be afraid to go national. Just because your budget isn't as big as the powerhouses you're competing with, doesn't mean that you can't scale your advertising on a national level. For example, you're a local golf company that sells golf balls nationally, but your budget is under $10,000 a month. From an advertising standpoint, how would you compete with national companies like Nike and Titleist? First, you could use Google Analytics to identify your top states and focus on those. Second, you can incorporate more long tail or phrases into your marketing campaign. These terms tend to cost less and still bring in sales. Third, utilize social media as a cost-effective way to scale nationally. There are many more ways. The key is to find high efficiency or gold mine strategies to increase the efficacy of your current e-commerce strategy. Tip number 2, cast a big net. When you test your data pools, you have a chance to introduce your brand to new customers while simultaneously seeing how well your ads are performing. You might think you know who your ideal target customer is, but you could be missing some people that are cheaper to convert to a sale by not advertising to a larger audience. It's all about finding audiences or keywords that are converting for you at the lowest cost per conversion. In this example, you may think the bluefish is your ideal customer. However, the bluefish could be many other companies' ideal customer at the same time. When demand is high, cost is high. Have you ever seen what legal keywords cost? When you're Nike, you can afford to only target the bluefish. When you are not Nike, you can make your budget go further and perform better by targeting other audiences that are still converting for you. These may not cost as much. When you first start your campaign, casting a bigger net or targeting the green fish can help you uncover ideal audiences that are more efficient to advertise to. When you master this, your return on ad spend will explode. Tip number 3, avoid running ads on Mondays. People tend to be very active on e-commerce sites on Monday mornings because they're avoiding their work. Because of this increase in online activity, the cost of ads increase, making it not an ideal time to run your digital ad. One of the best tips to advertising your e-commerce business is to analyze your organic website traffic and correlate your ad spend to that website traffic. In this example, the dark blue represented where more people were organically going to this e-commerce company's website to purchase golf balls. Mostly midweek to load up for the weekend, and Sunday afternoons when golf is on TV. So instead of dialing up your ad spend on Mondays, when everyone is competing for e-commerce shopping purchases, we would spend more midweek and on Sundays to make the most bang out of your budget. Tip number 4, have a cart abandonment strategy. 7 out of 10 shoppers put items in their cart and don't convert. This leads to $18 billion lost every year. When you personalize your retargeting ads, it can lead to ROIs of over 1,300%. Retargeting ads can send 26% of shoppers back to your site in hopes of potentially completing their purchase. Consider offering an additional deal or free shipping to entice them back to your store. In this example, a prospect started the process to purchase a membership. When they didn't complete the payment, they were served an ad reminding them to complete the purchase and offered a discount. If you ever want a live example of this, go to Best Buy, put something in your cart, don't complete the purchase, and see if you get ads reminding you with a discount. Now that you know the tips and tricks, solutions, and tactics to competing with the big brands, you need to commit to at least 91 days of advertising. When running a new campaign, it's crucial to allow at least 91 days for your ads to optimize. Throughout the 91 days, you get a really good sense of what ads and tactics are working and what ads and tactics aren't. In this example, the paid search campaign really started to widen the gap between spend and revenue starting in month 3. Being patient and gauging the ebbs and flows of the campaign in months 1 and 2 allowed for the campaign to thrive in month 3. From there, optimizations can more naturally occur, and you can do more of what works and less of what doesn't. Here's another example. Through the first couple months of the campaign spend sometimes outgained the overall revenue. However, look at month 4. After a couple months of analyzing creative, targeting, and audiences, this campaign really started to take off in month 4. From that point forward, the spend never outgained the revenue, resulting in a successful e-commerce campaign. 91 days gives you time to learn what works, test your ads, scale your marketing efforts, and reach all potential consumers. In your first month, you need to focus on data collection, maximizing ad impressions, clicks, and your conversions. Your second month to be focused on refining your targeting, honing your bidding strategies, keywords, and more. Your third month to be focused on testing and scaling the best performing marketing tactic. This will help you solidify your strategy and firm up how to best reach your audience. Now that you've committed to 91 days of consistent advertising, your campaign should be rolling and bringing in sales. 2 reporting best practices are revenue reporting and conversion reporting. Revenue reporting, or pulling through revenue, is always key when running an e-commerce campaign. The goal is to drive increased revenue while driving decreased spend. It allows our team to see how much revenue is being driven off each ad and how much we spend to drive that action. We don't just monitor the revenue, we monitor and manipulate the cost per action. For example, playing with the SEM position or time of day, we bid on certain terms. It is also crucial to monitor the overall conversion metrics on your website. How many new users are coming to the site each month? Is the bounce rate lower while increasing traffic? All of these metrics allow us to ensure we are driving increased sales, but also increasing the number of new and returning customers. This might seem complex or intimidating, but you don't have to do it alone. When you work with a digital marketing partner, they can help you from the content creation to the deployment of your campaign. This will allow one person to handle all your creative, strategy, and reporting. If you're interested in partnering with someone to create synergy and implement best practices, Cox Next can help. Thanks for spending some time with us to walk through ways you can dominate the e-commerce marketplace. Next up, Q&A with our panel of Cox Next experts.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed our presentation portion of the webinar. Now we'll transition into some questions, so feel free to type in your questions into the live chat, and we'll get to as many as we can. I'm Caitlin Lewis, digital strategist at Cox Next, and I'm joined with Adam Saylor, who heads up our digital strategy team. We'll start with a couple questions, but again, feel free to type in as many as you want to, and we'll get to as many as possible. First question, if I'm just starting from scratch, what e-commerce solutions should I start with?
All right, so if you're starting from scratch, there's a few things that you want to get a handle on, right? The first thing would be you want to make sure that you have prospecting and retargeting, right? Prospecting meaning, regardless of what you sell online, finding the people, the right eyeballs to come to your site, and then once they get to your site, getting them to look at products and then retargeting them until they purchase. And you can really do that in any platform, but that's how we would start a campaign. Now, before you start any kind of e-commerce advertising, you're going to want to make sure that your checkout process is dialed in, meaning there's not any hidden fees. Hidden fees, you put something in your cart, you hit submit, and then all of a sudden you get dinged for extra taxes or extra shipping fees. Those are the things that drive people away and make people abandon. If you are creating an account, if you make somebody create an account before they can purchase, people will abandon when they see that. You want to make sure that your page takes less than 3 seconds to load. And if you have a form for checkout, you want to make sure there's less than 5 to 7 boxes on there to fill out to make everything easier.
Awesome. The next question that we have is, how do you know how much money you should put towards a retargeting campaign? And that answer really comes down to how much traffic you have coming to your website on a regular basis. So usually what you can do is you can take a look at your average monthly users. Whether you're getting a high number or a low number, it doesn't really matter. You just need to get a feel for how many users are coming to your site on a regular basis. And really where that can vary is if you have a seasonal business. So you might have some peaks or some valleys throughout the year, but as long as you have that number for your average monthly users and how many times you want them to see your ad, then you have the perfect equation to figure out your retargeting budget, or at least how much you should start with. You can always grow from there, especially as you're adding more tactics to your marketing funnel. So that way you can increase your retargeting pool and eventually get more people to your website and fill out the form or make a sale, whatever it is you're trying to do.
Pretty solid strategy there, Caitlin.
Thanks, Adam.
What do we got?
Another question we have, what if my business isn't centered around selling products, but we have a service that people can pay for on the site? Would the same strategy apply here?
Yeah, when we talk e-commerce, I mean, there's like the massive e-commerce, which is like got 5,000 different products and they're all different, and you have to try to market people based off of how they move through your site, navigate through the different products, and retarget them. We count e-commerce at Cox Next as any time somebody uses a card or purchases something on your site. So it could be signing up for a birthday party at a bowling alley. It could be ordering a service. Anytime that money is exchanged on a website, and all the same principles apply, right? You're going to want to make sure that you put down some sort of a layer of search, right? You're going to want to have retargeting, maybe social if your budget is small to start. If it's around 5 to 10 and you're just starting out, maybe social you want to start with. If you have about 10, you can go into some search, start with search, get that foundation down, and go from there. So same principles.
Good stuff. And just a reminder, this is a live chat, so you can feel free to put any questions into the chat box, and we'll make sure to get to as many as possible. We have another question, and that question is a really easy one. It's what is a good budget to get started with? And really with that, you have to start with paid search, right? That's the bottom of the funnel. Those are your audiences that are ready to make a purchase. So once you have a good idea for how many monthly searches you have, how many people are actively searching for your products and services, then once you figure that out, you can kind of back into the rest of your marketing mix. And that way, again, you get the idea to increase your retargeting pool. And then from there, you've got the equation for your paid search, your retargeting, and then you can grow beyond that.
What else we got?
Let's see.
What do you think about data, using data to layer into campaigns? What stuff have you used, or what do you think would be the thing that what we see that people use the most of?
Yeah, I think it's great at Cox Next. We have a lot of resources under our belt. We've got Amazon data, we have Visa purchase data that we can layer into your campaigns. So for example, if you are a sporting goods store and you're looking to sell products, whether it's baseball bats or softballs or whatever that may be, you can layer in Visa purchase data to find out who has also bought maybe baseballs or catcher's mitts, things like that. So you can find an audience that's already interested in those products and hit them with your message saying, hey, come to my store. My store has the most premium baseball bats you can find. And then again, if they come to your site and maybe they go through the checkout process, but they abandon that cart, it's really important to hit them again as they're kind of browsing around the internet later on. Hit them with another message that all they need to do is just make that one last step and make a purchase. And again, if you have questions, feel free to put them into the chat box. We got a couple more minutes, so we just want to make sure that we get to all of your questions.
What's the biggest mistake that you find when you're working with clients that are starting to do e-commerce?
It's a great question. I think one of the biggest mistakes is just not being in it at all. I think having an e-commerce strategy is better than no e-commerce strategy, and really engaging with those users is most important. So being able to start that relationship with a prospecting ad, being able to send your message out and get that awareness up, and then making sure that you have really nice creative that's engaging, it's intriguing for your audience to follow. So I think just not doing anything at all is probably the worst thing you can do.
The other thing too is I was just thinking of something. We have a lot of customers or clients that are starting e-commerce that will they'll run it for a month and then they'll say, oh gosh, it's not working. I'm upside down. I'm not making any money. And every time, if we've found that if you just stick to 90 days, your results will start to get better. We had a company that sold socks nationally on the internet. And their first couple months, their results were bad, but as we optimized and found the right audiences for them, for people to purchase, and we found them at a lower cost per conversion, their results really started to go up in month 4, month 5, month 6 to where now they're having 5x, 6x return on ad spend using the same budget. So.
Well, we really appreciate all of you for sticking around to the Q&A. We hope we got to your questions, but if we didn't, we'll make sure to follow up with you afterwards and set up that consultation to talk through any questions you may have had. But in the meantime, if we didn't get to your question also, just feel free to reach out to your Cox Next team member or visit our website at www.coxnext.com. And thanks again for attending.
Thanks.